There are plenty of outreach tools that handle email. A few combine email with LinkedIn, but very few add calling, WhatsApp and SMS on top of that. Lemlist is the most complete outreach platform that I have found, and in this tutorial I'll show you exactly how to set it up step by step. By the end of this video you will have a full multi-channel outreach system that sends personalized messages on autopilot, as well as following up automatically and bringing every reply into one unified inbox. So here's exactly what we'll cover in this video. We'll set up your email infrastructure and get your warm up running. We'll connect LinkedIn and cover how to do that safely. We'll find leads using Lemlist's built-in database and its intent signals feature. We'll then build a full multi-channel campaign, combining email, LinkedIn, calling and more, using Lemlist's AI to personalize every message and enrich every lead with real data. And we'll go through the settings you need to configure to launch successfully, manage all your replies from a single unified inbox, and read your analytics to make real improvements. If you want to get started with Lemlist, the first link in the description gets you 30 days for free, more than double the standard 14 days. So you can use that link to follow along with me in this video, which I recommend doing since that is the best way to actually learn the platform. With that said, let's get straight into Lemlist. So after clicking on the link in the description, you will land on this page where you can simply go and click Start your 30-day free trial. Once you are in, Lemlist will ask you a few quick onboarding questions. First, what best describes you? Then, how many people would use Lemlist in your company? And finally, what are you looking to achieve with Lemlist? So you can select whichever ones you like, but you will get access to all of the features regardless. So then go and click Continue. You will then land on this onboarding checklist. Now, I want you to ignore this for now. I know it's tempting to just follow the steps that they give you, but the onboarding checklist skips straight into building a campaign before you set the foundation. That does feel the most rewarding since you're getting straight into building your campaign, but it's not the most efficient setup. So I recommend following along with what I'm about to show you in this video. So instead, go to settings by clicking on your name and then clicking on settings. So first, I recommend going over to the AI contact center. This is something that most people skip completely, but it makes a real difference later on. What it does is give Lemlist's AI context about your business, what you do, who you sell to, what you offer. So when you use AI features later to write or improve your messages, it actually knows what your business is about instead of writing something completely generic. Go ahead and paste in your website URL right here. If you don't have a website, click create manually and just write what your company does right there. If you do have a website, paste it in here and click generate context. It will pull in your positioning, your core offerings, and anything else it can find on your site. Once it's done, click apply context, and that's it. Now the AI actually has something to work with when you need it. There are a few other settings here we'll come back to once we've got some real data running through the account. But for now, let's move on to the most important part of the setup, your email infrastructure. Now, one thing needs to be clear before we go any further. The sections I'm about to show you, the email infrastructure, warm-up and LinkedIn setup, form the foundation on which everything else is going to run. So if you skip any of this or rush through it, your emails will land in spam, your LinkedIn account could get flagged or shadow banned, so follow along step by step here. So still here in settings, head over to buy domains and emails. Then here we'll need to add a payment method to continue. So go and click on add payment method. And this will be used to buy the domains and emails, which is what we'll cover next. But first, enter your card details and billing address. After filling that in, go and click update. Then, if you're prompted to verify your credit card. So now that we've added our billing details, go and click on your name and go back to settings. Now again click on the buy domains and emails tab and you will now see the section where you can search for a domain. So go ahead and type in your brand name and click search. Lemlist will then show you a list of available domains that are similar to your own. For example, here we have getsoftwarescope.com, which for me is perfect. So I'll click buy domain on that one. Now you can choose the email provider for your inbox. You can choose either Google or SMTP. I recommend going with Google. It is a bit more expensive, but it's worth it because you get the best deliverability and the highest chances of landing in the inbox, which is very important. So keep it to Google and click Next. Now, here's something important to understand before you decide how many mailboxes to set up. Each mailbox can safely send around 30 emails per day once it's fully warmed up. Just divide your target daily volume by 30 and that's how many mailboxes you will need. There's one more rule here: don't put more than 5 mailboxes on a single domain. Spread them across multiple domains so that if one domain takes a hit, the others keep running. So if you need 10 mailboxes, get 2 domains with 5 mailboxes each. I'll keep it simple in this video and just set up one domain with one mailbox. So here I will enter my name and then click Create Email. Now if you need more than one mailbox, just add more usernames and create more emails right here. Then go and click on Next. And we can now set up our redirection URL. Now what I recommend doing here is just entering your real brand URL. The redirect URL ensures that if anyone visits your sending domain in a browser, they land on your actual website. Now again, click Next. Then Lemlist will ask for your contact information, so fill this out. After doing that, go and click on the Next button again. That will take us to the very last step, which is the summary and payment. So go and check if everything looks good. Now the one-time payment may look pretty big, but the reason for that is that we are buying the domain upfront for an entire year, which means we need to do a one-time payment of 14 euros and then also 2.94 euros in tax, coming out to 16.94. The monthly ongoing cost is only for the inboxes, which in this case is 9.80 euros including tax. Then here, gonna tick the box to accept the terms and conditions and click Purchase Domains and Emails. You will then see it setting everything up, which should take about 13 minutes. So gonna wait this out until everything is set up, since for the next step we are going to need our email ready. So when it all shows as green, which for me actually took about 30 minutes, you can go and close this, and then close this as well. We now have our email almost ready. There is still one thing we need to do to finish it up. As you can see, it has the triangle. You can see here what that means. The email is waiting for user action. There are 2 steps we need to take to fix this. So go and click on Settings on the email. And then click Finalize Setup on the email inbox. Now a quick note, if you have multiple inboxes, you will need to do the following process on each one. First, click on Login to Google. And here click Use another account. Then head back over to Lemlist, copy your email and paste it in here, and click Next. Then again go to Lemlist, copy the password, paste that in here and again click on Next. Now click on the Continue button and then Lemlist will ask for access to your Gmail account so that it can read, compose and send emails from your Gmail account. So tick this box and again hit Continue. So do that process for every mailbox you own. And now let's verify the domain itself. Again, if you do own multiple domains, you will need to follow the following process on each one. So to start this process, go and click on the Verify Domain button. Then to verify our domain, we'll need to sign in to our Google admin account. Here, click on Verify My Domain. Since we've already signed in with our mailbox, it should show up as one of your accounts. So simply gonna select it. You will then see this message saying Gmail is activated, but we're not done yet. Here it says Authenticate outgoing emails. So click on the Authenticate button. Now here it will ask you to select a domain host. If you click on Next in Lemlist, you can see to follow these instructions and it says my domain uses a different host. So go ahead and tick that box right here in Google, then click Continue. Now, as you can see on Lemlist, the next step is actually to just click come back here and confirm once, and then it should take us to this next page where it says you're all set. So if we try this and we tick that box and then click confirm, it now just says getting your domain ready. So it looks a bit different, but now we can go back to Lemlist and click complete setup. And you will now again see finalize setup, and we need to do this once more. But when you click on it now, you will see a different process. Go ahead and click on Open Google Settings and sign in with the same account again. You will then find the terms of service, so accept these, and it should now all be set up. So now if we head back over to Lemlist and click Next, it will give us another step, which will be to actually generate a new DKIM record. So switch back to Google Admin and in the search bar type in DKIM and hit search. Then select DKIM Authentication. Now click Generate New Record and click Generate. Now Google will create a fresh record. Head back over to Lemlist and click Next. This is where we'll need to paste in the DKIM record. So copy the record from Google Admin and paste that record in here and then click Next. From there, Lemlist will validate the DKIM record. Now just click Complete Setup and we're now done with validating our email and domain. So if it shows configured here, you did it correctly. With our email connected, let's now set up our LinkedIn account. You'll find the option to connect LinkedIn right here under Sending Settings. So click on the LinkedIn dropdown and first we will need to install the Lemlist extension. So open it up and then click Add to Chrome. Then click Add Extension. After the extension has installed, go and click on Login to LinkedIn and here simply sign in with your LinkedIn account. After doing that, you can close this tab and just head back over to Lemlist. Our LinkedIn account is now also connected. If you have a LinkedIn Premium account, what you can do is toggle this on and then just click Confirm and Activate. Now, before we move on, I want to address something that a lot of people are actually worried about, and that's the LinkedIn automation and getting their account flagged or shadow banned. LinkedIn does monitor accounts for unusual activity. So if you suddenly start sending hundreds of connection requests and messages per day, they will notice. The good news is that Lemlist has built-in sending limits designed to keep you in the safe zone by default. You can change your sending limits by heading over to Sending Limits, and then you will have your limits for LinkedIn steps right here. You will see things like the maximum number of LinkedIn visits made by Lemlist in 24 hours and more. Now, when you are on a paid plan, you can actually go and update these as well and even lower them if you'd like to. So my advice here is simple, just never increase these above the defaults. If anything, if you are working with a relatively new LinkedIn account, go ahead and decrease them to start with. So stay within the safe zone and be patient and you won't have any issues with your LinkedIn account. So now let's get your phone number set up so that we can include calling and SMS messages in your campaigns. To set this up, head over to Call Settings. And here you have two options. You can connect a phone number you already own if you are from one of the 35 supported countries, or you can buy a phone number for $15 per month. That includes the dialer and it allows you to send SMS messages from France, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, or the United States. So if you don't yet have a phone number or you want to have a dedicated outreach number, go and click Buy Phone Numbers. You will then see a list of available phone numbers, but what you want to do first is set it to the country where you are actually going to be sending to. So if your prospects are from the US, set it to United States. Go and click on Buy on one of the phone numbers and click Buy One Number. But I already have a phone number in the country that I'll be sending to that I want to use, which for me is the United States. So I'll set it to United States and then here I'll just fill in the phone number that I already own. And then hit Next. Then again go and click on Next. And Lemlist will then give the phone number a call and you just need to enter this code in the call. So I'll do that right now. And it will then say verification complete. So click got it and you will then see the phone number right here as connected. Now there's one thing you need to know if you actually want to send messages in the United States. You need to complete something called A2P 10DLC registration. And it sounds more complicated than it is. You just register your brand and your campaign through Lemlist. It costs around $20 in total and it takes 1 to 3 weeks to get approved. So if that's something you want to do, send messages in the United States, go and start the registration now, because you need to do it in advance. So if you now go back here to Sending Settings, you can see we now have an email connected, we have a LinkedIn account connected, and we have a phone number connected. So we have everything we need to start building a campaign. But before that, we're going to set up a signal. A signal monitors for trigger events in real time. For example, someone starting a new job, a company hiring for a specific role, a new website visit, etc. Lemlist has a library of signals that you can pick from. So here, click on Create Watchlist. Now you can pick a signal to monitor, and then you can configure it for your ICP. After doing that, you can choose the maximum number of signals identified per day. I recommend setting it to 5 at most and monitoring all segments. Then again hit Next. And now you can choose what actually happens when someone matches your signal. Manually process these signals, create a task for identified signals, or even push them to a campaign automatically. So for example, what I'll do is create a manual task to call the prospect. So now whenever someone matches the signal I've just created, which is a new hire in the marketing department, I automatically get notified and get a task to give them a call with the instructions I enter right here. Now just click next, check if all the details are correct, and click create watchlist. So we've now created our first signal, and whenever someone matches it, the action you've just created will happen. Now let's build the campaign. Go to campaigns in the left panel and click create campaign. Now you will get two options, start with a template or create manually. So let me quickly explain both of these and their pros and cons to make the right choice for your situation. Templates are community created campaigns that other users have shared, and there are a bunch of them right here. And they can be good for inspiration or as a starting point. But the downside is that they are created for a very specific type of use case. And even if you do find one, you don't want to be sending the same campaign as everyone else in your niche. So I recommend going with creating a campaign manually. Lemlist offers a huge range of types of steps to work with. You have email, LinkedIn messages, LinkedIn voice messages, connection requests, call tasks, SMS, WhatsApp, and more. You can also add conditions between steps. So if a lead has a LinkedIn URL, send them down one path. If they don't, send them down another. This lets you build sequences that automatically adapt to each lead. This is the sequence I'll build for my campaign. Day 1, visit their LinkedIn profile. This is a subtle first touch that puts your name on their radar without any commitment. Day 2, I'll send a LinkedIn connection request. Day 4, send the first email. Day 6, a LinkedIn message, but only if they accepted our connection request, which we'll set up as a condition later. Then day 8, first follow-up email. Then on day 10, if a phone number was found, a call task. If not, send an additional follow-up email instead so that the touchpoint doesn't just disappear. On day 12, the final follow-up email, and that gives us 7 touchpoints across multiple channels. From what I've seen, campaigns that land in the 6 to 10 touchpoint range tend to perform the best. So this puts us right in that range. For now, we're just building the campaign structure. The actual message content comes later. I recommend doing it this way because it's much easier to write your emails and LinkedIn messages when you can already see the full sequence in front of you and understand where each touchpoint fits. For the condition on day 6, drag in a condition step and choose accepted LinkedIn invite. If yes, send a LinkedIn message. If no, skip it and continue to the next step. Now let's write the actual emails. Click on the first email step to open the editor. The first thing I recommend doing is down here at the bottom turning on plain text mode. Now that does mean you cannot use custom fonts or images, attachments, and you cannot track opens and clicks, but it is worth it because your deliverability is going to be better because of this. So go ahead and click on confirm. Now this is the first email I'll be sending for this campaign. I'm reaching out to people working in marketing and software companies and pitching a tutorial video. Next, let's add personalization. Type this icon and then you will see different variables pop up, like first name, company name, and more. Here I'll select first name. Now I'll also add personalization in other places in my email where I need it. Personalization handles how the email reads to the recipient, but the next thing we'll cover, spin tags, handles how the email looks to spam filters. Now you can do this manually if you'd like to, but that's a ton of work, so I recommend going another route. And that is to use Lemlist's AI. And remember, we trained that earlier in the AI Contact Center, so it's actually going to work well for your business. Click Ask AI in the bottom after writing your email. There are a few things you can have the AI do, but what we need here is boost email deliverability, so click Run on that one. The AI has now added spin text throughout the email, so this saves a ton of time. Now just click Use this copy and it will be entered right here in your email. So that covers the email side. Now let's switch over to LinkedIn. We have a few types of LinkedIn actions. First we have visit profile. So here select a sender and just going to select the LinkedIn account we connected earlier. Now the next step is a LinkedIn invitation, and here we can actually attach a message to the invitation. So I'll add this message right here. And then finally we have the actual LinkedIn chat message. So let's add that one right now. And this works very similarly to the email that we just did. Although on LinkedIn you don't need to add spin tags. But what you do also need to add, just like an email, is personalization. So make sure to use variables here as well. Now to finish up the sequence, I'll also just add a copy of my other emails. And if you have a call step, I recommend adding your script in the notes so that it's always available when you need to see it. So now that we have finished building our sequence, we need to configure these settings. I'll cover all of the most important ones. The first one is here in automations. When a lead responds, pause that lead. Because when someone responds to a message in your campaign, you don't want to automatically keep reaching out to them. The second setting I recommend turning on is score the reply based on the tone using AI. So the AI recognizes the tone and scores the lead based on that. And if it isn't turned on yet, right under that also turn on manage out of office replies automatically, so that when someone has an automatic message saying I'll be back in 2 weeks, for example, or on this date, Lemlist's AI will automatically reschedule them in your campaign for the date that they are actually back. Next, under tracking, turn off open tracking and click tracking. Open tracking works by embedding an invisible pixel in your email, which breaks your plain text setup, and link click tracking replaces your URLs with redirect links that spam filters flag. So I recommend turning both off. Replies are the only real metric that matters in cold outreach anyway. Then here under schedules, set the time zone to your prospect's time zone and not your own. So if you're based in Europe and sending to people in the US, set this to a US time zone, because you want your emails to land in their inbox during their working hours. Alright, so now that we have built the campaign and configured these settings, we can move on to the next step in the process, which is to add leads to this campaign. Now, by the way, there is a mailbox error here, but I'll cover that in a second. Go and click on lead list in the top right, and then go and click on import new leads. Here you will then see a bar at the top with every method of importing leads that Lemlist offers. People database is the built-in contact database. CSV import is for external lists. If you've already built one elsewhere like Apollo or a manual scrape, that's where you can upload it. LinkedIn import lets you pull leads from a LinkedIn search using the Chrome extension we installed earlier. Then the contact list shows leads that you have already imported into your Lemlist account. Then there's CRM import for HubSpot, Salesforce or Pipedrive, and you have manual import for single imports. And I'll show you how Signals import works when we actually have a few leads from Signals. For this campaign, we're going with the people database since that's the most common starting point. So you can search in Lemlist's database of hundreds of millions of leads using different filters. For example, I'll add a job title filter for people that I want to target, which is content marketing managers and other marketing job titles. So just enter all of the filters for your ICP, whatever that may be. For example, I'll also filter by industry, keyword in company, and country. Then I do recommend always turning on the two filters here at the top, which are not already in all contacts and not already in a campaign, which will filter out any leads that you're already contacting right now or that you have contacted in the past. So after adding all of my filters, there are over 17,600 leads right here that match these filters. So to start testing your campaign, I recommend selecting about 100, which is what I'm going to do. So I'll take this box in the top left, which will select the entire page of 100 leads. Now click push 100 leads, and you can then choose what you want to find for each lead. A verified email costs 5 credits and a phone number costs 20. So keep it to just email if you only have email steps, but select phone number if you also have an SMS or calling step in your sequence. I do, so I'll select both. Now click push 100 leads to campaign, and Lemlist will now push them to your campaign and start enriching them so it finds their phone numbers and optionally emails. So after closing this section, you will see Lemlist enriching all of the leads live right here. Now it won't be able to find all of them, and some email addresses will be marked as undeliverable or risky. I'd recommend filtering those out before launching. It's not worth damaging your sender reputation over a handful of bad email addresses. Now currently Lemlist is only enriching 8 out of 100 leads. The reason for that is that it costs 25 credits per lead for the phone number and email, and I don't have enough for all 100 leads right now. For the full list, it's going to cost 2500 credits, so I'll need to buy some extra right now. To buy new credits, go and close this. Click on your credit count in the bottom left and then click on buy more credits. Then you can choose how many you want. For 100 leads, it's 2500. And then just click buy 2500 credits. With tax included, it comes out to a little over 30 euros. And then you may need to confirm your purchase via email. If so, open up your email and just gonna click on the link in your email. And from there you have successfully made the purchase. As you can see, I now have over 2500 credits in my balance, enough to enrich all of the leads in the campaign. So you can now close the other tabs and head back over to the campaign. Now in the campaign, go to the lead list and now click enrich 100 leads and find phone numbers, and then only search for the ones that are not already found, and do the same thing for the email addresses. And now go and wait for Lemlist to enrich all of the leads with the emails and phone numbers. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you want to filter out the risky email addresses. So click on add filter. And under status, select risky, undeliverable, and email not found, and then click apply. Gonna select all of these people and gonna delete them from your list, and then confirm it. So now we've got a clean list of deliverable email addresses. You will also notice that Lemlist automatically adds AI enrichment columns to your lead table, like the latest company news, whether it's a SaaS company. In my case, since I'm targeting SaaS companies, it recognized that and added that specifically as an AI column. You can also add your own AI columns by clicking on add, then create AI column, and here you can choose things like icebreaker from company description and much more, and then you can actually use these as variables in your campaigns. So that covers the lead section, but now you can see at the top the sequence still has an error. And that error is with our email sending address that still has not been verified. So to fix this, head back over to the sequence. Then open up an email step where you can see error on senders, and you can see we can still not select the sender. Now what we can do to fix this is go back to our settings and then go to sending settings and open up the email. Now here click on delete, just gonna unlink the Google account, then click connect email address, select Gmail, and sign in with the same Gmail address, then continue, and continue once again. Often when it doesn't connect automatically the first time and you try it again, it does work. So now if you go back over to the campaign, and then go to the email step, as you can see we can now select it as a sender, and the errors are now resolved. If you have multiple email addresses, simply go and reconnect all of the ones that aren't yet connected. After doing that, we can finally go over to launch and actually launch this campaign. So you can see every single lead right here that's ready to launch, and for those leads you can see the exact messages and emails that will be sent with customization already in there. So you can go and check if everything looks good. If it does, you can either launch them right now or you can schedule the launch. I recommend scheduling the launch and set it to 2 weeks from now so that our emails have time to warm up. So then just go and click schedule, and then you will see leads scheduled successfully, and they are now in the launched tab, and they are all listed as scheduled. Now we need to actually start warming up our emails so that in these 2 weeks our emails have enough time to warm up. When you create a brand new email account, as we've just done, email providers like Google and Microsoft don't know you yet, because there's no sending history and no reputation. So if you immediately start blasting out hundreds of cold emails, their systems see a sudden spike in activity from an unknown account and flag it as suspicious. Your emails go to spam, or your account even gets suspended entirely. So to avoid that from happening, let's set up our email warm-up right now. To do that, go and close this campaign, and then click on the Lemlist logo in the top left. That will then show this drop-down, and click on the second option, which is Lemwarm. Here we're going to click on Choose Plan. That will take you to this billing section. On Lemwarm, click Upgrade Plan, and choose whether you want to bill monthly, quarterly, or yearly. I'll do monthly on the cheapest Essential plan, and then go to click on Pay Now. You will then see this. You are now subscribed to Lemwarm. Go and click on Start Using Lemwarm. Now the email is already connected, as you can see here, because we've already done that in Lemlist, and this is connected to our Lemlist account. So close this and click on step 4, start Lemwarm. And after clicking confirm, Lemwarm has now started. But we do need to customize this a little bit because the default settings aren't optimal. So to do that, switch over to the warm up tab. The default settings are 10 warm up emails per day, a ramp up increment of 1 per day, and a reply rate of 88%. Now the total emails per day is way too low, you can set this to 20 easily. The ramp up increment I would set to 3, so every day it sends 3 more emails than the last day until the limit is reached. And then the reply rate is unnaturally high, I recommend setting it to 55%, meaning 55% of warm up emails get a reply. Now you should give your warm-up a minimum of around 14 days before you start sending any cold emails. After those 14 days, check your inbox landing rate in the overview tab of your email account. You want to see 97% or higher. If it's below that, wait a bit longer. Don't rush this, it's the foundation of everything. And again, leave Lemwarm on once you do start sending. It runs in the background and keeps everything healthy. It's about a week later now, and as you can see, we now have in total sent 74 emails, all of which landing in the inbox, which is a good sign. But again, you want to let this run for about 2 weeks, but since I want to show some actual results in this video, I'm going to launch my campaign right now and wait for some replies to come in so that I can actually show you how the inbox and analytics work. But in these few days, I have already gotten a few leads matching my signals. So I'll just head back over to Lemlist to show you that. Now here, if I click on the tasks tab, you can see I have 6 call tasks right here that came from my signals. The reason for that is that I created a call task whenever someone matched these signals. But you can also automatically enroll them into a campaign or create some other kind of task. But these right here are new hires in marketing departments at software companies. So now I can just click start 6 tasks, then click on find phone number to call them, and then just click on the call icon right here to give them a call using the built-in dialer using our own connected phone number. If you connected multiple, you can select the one you want right here. Now you can use this dialer to call anybody you want, but it's very convenient that you just have a button on every single lead to give them a call, or even just send them an email, LinkedIn message, or a text message. So that's specifically for these signals right here. Now if we head over to the actual signals tab, we can see them right here as well. So these are the people we have already found from our watch list. So what I can do now is just go to tasks, start 6 tasks, and just go through these one by one, give them a call, and when I'm done, I just click mark as done, and it moves me on to the next one. Then I mark this one as done, and it moves me on to the next one, etc. Then for this lead, I actually enriched the phone number, so what I can do right here is click call. And then you can see the dialer will start right here, and it's now actually calling this person, so it's ringing. And you can now set a call status right here. In a second, I'll also show you how you can customize these call statuses. You can leave any notes you want, you can stop recording the call, and you can just hang up, of course, if you'd like to. So after hanging up, you can still set the call status, for example, gatekeeper or not in service or whatever else. And then you can go and close this. You can see right here it now has gatekeeper. Then just click mark as done. So those are the call tasks. Now after you actually make some calls, you can go back here to analyze and then click on calls. Then you can see some pretty interesting data right here. So what you can do is click on a specific call right here. You can actually listen back to this call. You can see who was speaking at what times, who spoke the most, and you can see a full transcript. You can see action items and a call summary. You have notes right here that you can leave yourself. So what you could do, for example, is go to the 3 dots here and then click on download transcript, and you can upload that into a tool like Claude and ask it how you can improve your cold calls, which is a very good way to just improve over time. So if you have multiple people working inside of Lemlist in your company, what you can do is select called by, and then you can view specific calls from team members, see who gets the most positive replies and who books the most meetings, and you can actually listen to them calling. And now you may be wondering what happens if I call someone and they don't pick up, but they call me back later. So that's what this inbound tab right here is for. But this only works if you actually buy the phone number through Lemlist, because if you connect your own phone number, you can just see it on your own phone. So there's no reason to use this feature in that case. But if you do buy your phone number through Lemlist, you also want to be able to see when people call you back. That's what this section is for. So after some time, I've now gotten my first reply here. You can see that by the notification on the inbox. So I'm going to open up the inbox and you can see it here. So you can first filter by your conversations. For example, you can archive them, favorite them, or you can just filter by your unread conversations. You can also filter by specific contacts or anything else you want to filter by. Now, for example, I'll just open up this chat right here and then you can see all of the outreach you have done to them. So not just email, but you can also see LinkedIn messages and anything else that you have sent to this specific prospect. Now then you can see their reply. And what you can also do from here is send your reply. So you can choose the channel you want to reply with. I currently have email hooked up here and I've only reached out to them on email. But if you also had a phone call with them or send them an SMS message or maybe a LinkedIn message, then right here you can select that channel too. Write your message right here. And then once you click on send, it will be sent to that prospect. So then here at the top bar, you have a few more interesting parts. First, you have the phone number right here. So if you have their phone number, you can just give them a call whenever you want. You can also create a follow-up task here. So you can remind yourself to do something in the future. This can be a call task, email, LinkedIn, or manual. Then here you can set the status for this contact. So right now it's set to contacted, but I could also set this to opportunity, for example. And then later you can go right here and filter. Then click add a filter, then go by contact status. And then here I can select opportunity. Now I'm still filtering by unread. If I set it to all conversations, you would then see the conversation with the opportunity status right here. Then here you can mark this message unread for all of your team. You can favorite this message. You can snooze it. You can tag the conversations, so you can also use tags, which is a little bit different from the statuses. Tags are more custom, so for example, out of office to unsubscribe, or you can type something yourself right here and create a tag. But now a pretty important thing to do is we have now gotten a reply and we're actively talking with this prospect. If we click right here on this campaign section, we can see the campaigns they are currently in. Now it should be paused, but what you want to go and do is click on the three dots and end their campaign. So you don't want this person in this campaign anymore, because when they are, you are still going to be reaching out to them even though you are already in a conversation with them. So go and confirm it and it will then be removed and it will say completed on this lead. So that's the inbox. Now one more thing we need to go over is reports. If we click on reports here, you can set the date. For example, I'll set the last 7 days and click apply. Then you can see a few different things. You have your lead funnel over time, where you can see the contacted leads, delivered, opened, clicked, replied, interested, and unsubscribed. Then you can see the actual overview here. Now what you will notice is that opened is empty. The reason for that is that I turned off open tracking. But what you can see is how many got delivered, how many were contacted, and how many replied. You can also filter by a specific campaign right here to see the results on a campaign level. And you can filter by a user that is using Lemlist in your company. Now, if you scroll down, you can see some more interesting details, such as leads ready to send, leads in progress. Then here you have your Lemlist leads reporting with leads in a campaign. But what I recommend doing is going over here to click Add Tab and then enter a tab name. So I'll just name it Analytics, then click Confirm. And what you can do here is add your own widgets, because Lemlist has a lot more analytic widgets than the ones you just saw. You can see right here they have tons of them that you can track, and you want to create an overview or a tab that actually tracks what's important for your outreach. For example, if you do a lot of calling, you will want to have some kind of call activity, or if you have reps that call for you, you want to have the call performance by rep. So you can build that up right here by adding the widgets. Then you can add more if you want. You can rearrange them. So for example, move this one up here. So then click Save for Everyone. And now you will have a group right here or a tab called Analytics, where you can see the things that is important to your outreach. Now there are a few more features in Lemlist that you need to know about to really get everything out of this platform. So I'm just going to walk through these quickly. So to start, click on your name right here, and then go to templates. You can see the templates for actual campaigns, but you can also create your own templates for not just emails, but also schedules, snippets, images, and landing pages. So the one that's most interesting here in my opinion is images. If you click create new template, you can go and give it a name like LinkedIn Outreach and click confirm. And you can really grab someone's attention with this, because you can add elements that are custom to the lead. For example, you can add a website variable where it just imports their website. So what you can do is just drag that like this, and then you have their website here. What you can also do is click add element and add, for example, text, and then here just add their name. So add a custom variable and do, for example, their first name, something like this. You need to see this. Whatever you want to add, you can just do that right here. Then you can also do stuff like adding meme text. So you can add a meme if you would like to with custom variables. So you can get really creative with this. And then you can just apply this to a LinkedIn message, for example, and that makes it stand out more than if you just send a normal message. And it kind of makes it look like you actually put in some effort. Now, if we go back to our name here and then click settings, there are some more things right here that can be interesting. So for example, you have your team settings right here, where you can set up your custom tracking domain, set up a custom tracking domain for your landing pages, and you can set up two-factor authentication, which is always smart to do, and you can set a picture for your workspace. So we've already covered these 3 sections, but website visitors is interesting. You can add this code into your website to capture visitors as contacts in Lemlist. And then you can create a signal for whenever someone visits your website, you get a signal that they visited your website. So you can add this tracker right here if you'd like to. The AI contact center we've already covered. Then you have lead scoring. So you can use AI to score leads, and this works with a point system. So you can set an amount of points that is either positive or negative for whenever someone takes a certain action. And for example, when they click on a link, currently it's 2 points. If that's a very important action for them to do in your campaigns, you could attach more points to that. But if that's not important at all, you can just decrease it. So by doing this, you can change the amount of points, and based on that, the lead score will change. Then you have your integrations. You can integrate with your CRM. You can also integrate with ChatGPT or OpenAI, N8N, Make, Zapier, and more tools right here, also Claude. Lemlist recently acquired Claap, which is a meeting platform, so you can also integrate directly with that platform to take all of your meetings on there. Then you have account health, where you can see the health for not just your email, but also LinkedIn, email tests, DNS health, and WhatsApp health. In unsubscribe, you can see whenever someone has unsubscribed and why, so this one bounced, for example. And finally, you have your logs right here, but for this you do need to upgrade, but then you can see exact logs of all of your team's activity. So those are the settings. Now, if you click on meetings right here, this is also where you will find the tool I mentioned just now, which is called Claap, which Lemlist again recently acquired. And you can click start recording your meetings and then sign up to Claap right here. It is a separate subscription, but the advantage is that it integrates directly with Lemlist, so it makes it very easy to send a booking link and any notes automatically sync with Lemlist. Now, once again, you can get the extended 30-day free trial instead of the usual 7 days by clicking on the first link down in the description. And that's it. That's the full Lemlist tutorial. You now have everything you need to run and build a proper multi-channel outreach system from scratch. Your email infrastructure is set up correctly, your warm-up is running, LinkedIn is connected safely, leads are coming in automatically, and a full campaign is going out across email, LinkedIn, calling, and more. If this video helped you out, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really does help. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll respond to all of them. With that said, I'll see you in the next one.